Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. This is for the data nerds. We're going to talk about what's going on in the format after the Edge of Eternities release. Before we get into it, remember you can get sideboard guides on patreon.com/kalikaiz. If you want early access to videos, that's in the YouTube membership, which you can hit by the join option below. And this Saturday, I will be at the Upstate New York Pauper Open #2, which has currently sold out. But if you want to get on the waiting list, it's possible that with enough involvement, we would get at least, up to 15 more players. I don't know. Mitch has promised that if a lot of people are really interested, he might be able to increase the cap. So look into that. Otherwise, let me know if you'll be there. And I will definitely be there. I just don't know what I'm going to play yet, right? So what's going on in the metagame? This covers the metagame with the first 2 days without Edge of Eternities, and then on the 29th of July, Edge of Eternities actually released like in the afternoon. So we have a couple, I think we had 4 or 5 decks that were posted post that, and then the 30th onward was Edge of Eternities. So we have Mono Red at 14%, then Spy Combo, then Arcane Tide, then Mono Blue Fae, then Affinity. Familiar is making a little bit of a comeback, mostly because of the new card from Edge of Eternities. So if we actually look at what happened, whoops. Okay, so on the first couple of days, Spy was like pretty prevalent, and then it was basically gone. Still 4 and 4 is pretty high. The Mono Red deck was very present on the 29th. And then kind of medium. So I think things are still a little bit in flux, but there are a lot of really cool ways to use the new Edge of Eternities cards that we're going to just go ahead and get into. We're also going to check out some of the other spicy lists that were part of the 5.0 dumps. So the first list I wanted to highlight was a Ruby Storm by T-Zwiz. They were playing a lot of Ruby Storm because specifically of the spy decks everywhere. This is the Rummage style list, but they have Gutter Snipe and Storm Shriek Feral as potential win conditions. Plus, I thought that they were playing Seize the Storm. I guess not in the main deck. Seize the Storms are in the sideboard here for them. Then we have a Madness Burn by Wabodabo. So this is something that I tried to try to figure out what they were doing. I really like the idea of what they have here. So they have 15 creatures, but no pingers. Instead, they're just doing like a Sly deck with Percussionist, Tomb Raider, Epicure, and Snacker. And then they have a lot of burn spells, Chain Lightning, Lightning Bolt, Searing Blaze, and Fire Blast, and Fiery Temper. Plus, they have a cool card, Witch's Mark. You can discard a card, and if you do, draw 2 cards, and you create a Wicked Roll token attached to a creature. That makes them get +1/+1, and when they die, each opponent loses a life. They've got 4 Looting, 4 Grab, 2 Sazicap, and 4 Witch's Mark, so very large amount of draw spells with 17 lands. In the sideboard, 4 Pyro, 3 Relic, and then a lot of Artifact hate with 4 Cast into the Fire and 4 Suplex. This is a really cool list. The next list, kind of before Edge of Eternities, was this Temur Skred from Albies. Just wanted to highlight, they have replaced the Tolarian Terror with Writhing Chrysalis. Otherwise, it looks kind of normal. Unfathomable Truths is interesting. Draw 3, create an 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature token. So I guess that just synergizes with the Chrysalis, and it's also an instant. Now getting into, this is the last one I think before Edge of Eternities. So Data Pusher just made top 4, I think, in the challenge over this past weekend when I'm recording with this Eggtron list, playing 2 Pact Altair, 2 Weather the Storm, 4 Black Mage's Rod, and then they're looking to just machine gun their opponent out with the Black Mage's Rod and the Pact Altair. They also have a Tandem Lookout, which can pair with the, Wizard? Create a Wizard. Pair with the Wizard, and then as you cast your spells, you just bop your opponent and draw a lot of cards. I think that's really cool. Now, we have Tron. This is an Altertron by NMT SCO94. I wanted to point out that this does have new cards with 4 Temporal Intervention in the sideboard instead of playing something like Duress. Some people are starting to play that in the main deck. They have 3 Pact Altair and 2 Weather the Storm, so pretty good versus burn. 4 Insight, 4 Rumble. more Weather the Storm in the sideboard, as well as Fang and Marauder. So they really do not want to lose to burn. No Pyroblast or anything. So they're planning on just using the discard spell to get through High Tide, I guess. Now the first Affinity deck that's using the new card Cryogen Relic. Cryogen Relic is a 2-mana artifact. When it enters or leaves, you draw a card, and you can sacrifice it to put a stun counter on target tapped creature, which also that causes it to leave, which draws you a card. And they're playing a Grixis Affinity Shell, 4 Pact Altair, 4 Refurb, 3 Krark-Clan Shaman. Krark-Clan Shaman can sacrifice the Cryogen, which is good to draw you more cards. They have 4 Relic, 4 Wellspring. So very large amounts of draw because of all of that. And then they're going up on Makeshift Munitions to sacrifice their artifacts to draw more cards. We have a Jeskai Synth from Edo 01. So they took the Mardu Synth that Los Ancato has been playing, and they swapped the black for blue in order to play Cryogen Relic. But they still have the Cleansing Wildfire package. They got the Raven Charms in the main and Metallic Rebuke. I asked them how they liked this deck. They thought it was really awesome, but they thought that they wanted to put in some Journey to Nowheres in the main deck. So if you're interested in playing this, maybe consider playing some Journey to Nowheres. And now this deck gets even crazier because Lost on Kato decided to play a 4-color synth deck. They're playing Glinhawk, Skyfisher, Refurb with Krark-Clan Shaman. They've got 4 Galvanic, 4 Thoughtcast, 4 Toxin. I do not understand how the mana is working in this deck. It's probably held together by the 4 of Prophetic Prism. They've got 4 Cryogen Relics. So their Glinhawks can either double discard you with the Refurb or draw tons of cards with the Cryogen. They also have Black Mage's Rod in the main deck, Spellbomb, and Blood Fountain. And the lands are all over the place. Ancient Den. It's just tons of artifact lands in some sort of way that they figured out how to build it. 3 Compass in the sideboard. Tons of counter spells with the Rebukes, Hydroblast, Pyroblast. Another Graveyard Hate with the Spellbomb, and then the Compasses. That's just wild. So now we have Mono Blue Fairies. Mono Blue Fairies, I believe Barf, a couple other people were playing, but this new card, Ilvoy Gillblade, is a 1-mana, 1/1 flash flying, which has 2 to sacrifice and draw a card. That means that you can kind of wait until your opponent's turn and flash it in. And this person decided to play 4 of Cryo Shatter in the main deck as a removal spell. Otherwise, it's your general Fairies deck. It's cool to see the new cards being used there. Now we have a Dimir Affinity from Hamuda. So this deck is crazy. It is using this card Abjure, which is obscure. It says, for a single blue, sacrifice a blue permanent to counter target spell. They also have 2 Metallic Rebukes in their main deck, so 6 counter spells. And their blue permanents are Hard Evidence, Kenku, and of course, the new Cryogen Relic. When you get countered and your opponent gets to draw a card, that is absurd. We've seen, people may not be aware, but in Legacy, one of the main decks is using a card that lets you draw cards on when you use your Force of Will. That is Up the Beanstalk. So this is a kind of Up the Beanstalk impression, which is kind of crazy. Here we have another deck using the Cryogen Relic, which is Familiars. So Gregorus Usil, they are an Italian player, I believe. It's really interesting. They've cut their Muldrifter entirely. Cryogen Relic instead. They're playing 2 High Tides and no Merchant Scrolls, but they have Philology Archaeologist, which when it ETBs, you mill 3, and then you can put a non-creature, non-land among those cards into your hand. Or you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So your Philology can draw your relic, and then you can flicker it with one of the 4 of Ghostly Flickers. My Ghostly Flicker image was flickering there. And then you can get stuff back with their Jolted Awake. They also have a single Tune the Narrative. So the idea being you're going to try to set up the High Tide combo kill, where you just compulsive research your opponent into the ground, or you attack them with the Burning Mystic tokens. Another way of building the Cryogen Relic was a deck that I trophied with, where I'm just slotting it into my Modern Age plus Deep Analysis deck. I found that flickering this is really good, but when it's in play in Familiars and you're just kind of sacrificing it, it's not super good. So I was kind of thinking, so I ended up going with 3 Ghostly Flickers. And this deck specifically is not playing Murmuring Mystic, which I ended up bringing Murmuring Mystic in for another trophy that was later, not during this week. Next, Grixis Affinity by Rash. So this is a standard Grixis Affinity deck, but they're playing 4 Relic, 4 Wellspring, and 1 Munitions. So it looks pretty stock. There was a pretty wild deck that Luffy trophied with. So let's see if I can pull it up. We got to go to the 31st, maybe. So he was playing, okay, I think this is it. So this is an 80 card Affinity deck, which is just crazy. They decided to put every good card in their deck possible. I'll have to link that in the description as well. So moving up on the spiciness scale, we have a black-green from Nitrox 18. This is a Pestilence deck, which Pestilence hasn't been playable for a very long time, and this has made people very excited. Cauldron Familiar is a good way to get a creature back on the table so that your Pestilence doesn't die, and they're playing 4 Duress in the main deck with no other discard in the sideboard. I would have expected more. They also have 4 Cast Down, and then they brought in 2 Go for the Throat, which says destroy target non-artifact creature. So they basically have 6 2-mana destroys, and then they have Snuff Outs in the sideboard. They are also playing the new card Nutrient Block, which is a 1-mana food. It's indestructible, but you can sacrifice it and gain 3 life, and then when it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you draw a card. So you can also sacrifice it from your Cauldron Familiar. And then 1 of Heaped Harvest, which can help get lands. Pretty sweet. People have been pretty stoked on that. Okay, the next deck I wanted to check out was this Flickertron deck. This is King Ziggy's 5-0, but a couple of people have been 5-0ing with this specific list. This is playing 4 Cryogen Relic without playing Muldrifter, and what they're doing is they're trying to play Mysidian Elder from Final Fantasy. It's a 2 and a red for a 1/3 that creates an 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast this non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So the idea is you're going to be flickering this and putting out tons and tons of wizards, destroying your opponent. And then you can just, they have tons of flicker targets with 4 Refractor, 4 Prism, and 4 Cryogen Relic, just making Ghostly Flicker that much better. They're playing 4 of it in the main deck. So the idea is you're just going to be consistently drawing 2 at instant speed, or if you flicker 2 relics, drawing 4 at instant speed. And we have the spiciest deck in my opinion, Mono Black Control from Cornetto. This was on day 1 of the new set releasing. They are playing 4 Thorn of Blackgrowth, 4 Troll as their ways to win, but they also have Black Mage's Rod in the main deck. And they have Corner by Black Mages as a way. So 8 the Rod effects, 2 Duress, and 4 Temporal Intervention in the main deck with 4 Snuff Out. It's pretty sick. They actually said on Twitter that they felt that this deck was not very good and that you should not play it, but you got to highlight it. All right, let me know if I missed anything from the leagues or if there's any cards that you're excited to play with. I'll see you in the next video.